Well, hello again. Short talk at the trailer number two. Look at that little ring right there. I was apparently doing something that involved hmm, dirt or something today. I decided to go ahead and oh gosh, I decided to go ahead and on that job we were talking about this morning. I went ahead and just said we're just digging. That's all. We're just going to dig this thing out. If we can get it dug out, we're just going to demo all the iron. That's all. We're not going to even try to put a piece of pipe in the ground. So I was in there blowing and going with my little mini grinder. I got a diamond blade on the thing because when you're trying to cut out iron, old cast iron, unless you can get in there and really swing a sledgehammer or even a 3 pound hammer to pop that stuff, you can't get a tool on it. So I'm laying on my side, cutting like this overhead, laying on my side in a ditch with my feet strung out behind me, blazing away. It's like, well, you can either get up and look at it. Where was I? Where did I cut? Or you can cut, but you can't do both at the same time because by the time you get up here, the tool's in the way. You can't see the cut anymore. So we beaten and I probably a 4 letter word or 17 passed by my lips in the process because some of the stuff was really stubborn. And it was like, how many times am I going to cut this thing before it pops loose? And I was like, apparently more than seven. But you can see all these little strike joints all over the place. So anyway, I was kind of joking around at the office with the, look at that. Looks like I'm wearing makeup. And I've already, at the shop, I got a warm water and a paper towel. Get that stuff out of my eyes, and it's already quite a bit significantly lighter. It used to be more like that color right in here. And that's what happens when you run a remodel job and you got to get the iron out. Oh, I had to get that jacket off. There we go. Feels better. Anyway, take a look at these hands here. Now, I've had people actually physically recoil from looking at them things. I mean, these little rascals are kind of a little on the scuffy, uffy side here today. So I just wanted to talk real briefly. I'm so glad that I got the darn demo, and I think we got the digging done. Now there's a transition issue all of a sudden. We found it at the end of the day. Well, my guess is that the original plumbers who ran the thing must have just ran it with really strong slope because we're only coming in so far, about 7 feet from the outside, and that's as far as we got. I can check my invert there. I'm minus 36. You go 22 feet further, it should be only 5 inches less, right? So I should be more or less 30 inches to the bottom of the pipe. And I was like 24 or 25. So there's like a 10-inch rise or an 8-inch rise in here somewhere that they must have just had that iron going, woo, like take it off. And so I told my guy, Marty, oh, yeah, I was talking about this the other day. The guy down at the warehouse says, you know, these glasses make you look like that guy on Back to the Future, the old guy. And I said, you mean Doc? And he says, yeah. And I said, well, get a load of this. I work with a guy named Marty. And yeah, I told Marty that today. But I'm just so glad that we went in. I had my little mantra for the day, don't be afraid of the dirt. And we whooped it pretty hard. It's really pretty nice digging. It's not that raggedy soil with all that clay and rock and junk. And so it was a clean dig, and in terms of not having to fight with it and get digging bars and jackhammers just to dig the ditch. And so who knows, we might make some headway today. I did notify the office. I said, hey, look, I was authorized to do this for 5 days in here. I said, I can tell you right now, it's not going to happen. I said, best case scenario, because see, this is a short week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, boom, Thursday's here, where everybody's off for Thanksgiving. Nobody's coming back on Friday. And I'll be in Albuquerque for the weekend. So I thought, well, that's my plan. Who knows where I'll be. But the idea was, I told him, hey, look, ain't going to happen. I said, best case scenario, we're going to get the plastic run maybe tomorrow, maybe. But it'll probably leak over to the next day. Get the backfilling done Wednesday, maybe get the thing backfilled. But we won't have time to even touch a concrete patch. We won't even, I could order the concrete and get it on site, but there's no point in that because it'd be sitting there 4 days in the front yard. How much rain's coming down? We don't know. So at any rate, I thought, nah, I don't want to do that because then I have to tarp it off and weight the tarp down, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, leave it alone. So we exported all the iron. It's right now sitting in the back of the truck. And boy, some of those pieces are pretty heavy. I pulled one out of there. It was like 85 pounds. It was a combo. No, it was two combos tagged together. And it was like, ugh. I think it was the only piece of iron was maybe 3 feet long. But it had two combos in there. And it's just like, wow. So anyway, made it go. And so I just kind of wanted to pass that on to you today, that I had a successful dig. Today I just kept pulling and pulling and pulling dirt 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 and pulling dirt. And finally, I think we've got enough room to work in there. Got to dig this monster cave so I can turn around later, get in with my torpedo, get the pipe in there, see what the level says, get her glued in square and straight, back out. Still got to get it back out. Now let's just bury him in there. And so today's sponsor, which has not sent me a check yet, Modelo Negra, the favorite beer of old white guys. Actually, we just made that up. I don't think that's their motto. But I just was just kind of happy. I was just kind of rejoicing today that I thought, I look like I got hit by a coal train or something like that. And I was telling the young lady at the office, I said, when Schwarzenegger or somebody, and he's going to go get tough in the forest, and he goes commando, he's got the big knife and the machine gun, and then maybe put a little headband on or something, but you get this black goop all over your face, that's how you can tell you're a real tough guy. And I thought, yeah, that's me. I got the makeup. I guess all I need now is the machine gun. Boy. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good evening tonight. I'm thinking about Thanksgiving this year. I don't know what you have planned, and you can leave a comment about that if you'd like. But to me, Thanksgiving is one of the best holidays of the year. It's a lot like 4th of July. You get friends and family around. There's not a lot of pressure. There's not a lot of emotional, torque and rotation. Christmas is such a weird holiday to me. There's so many layers of emotional stuff and memories and melodrama and expectations and who knows. And some people are weird enough that they actually like snow, and those people need to have their head examined. But everyone's always talking, I wonder if it's going to be a white Christmas this year. And it's like, no, it's never a white Christmas here. Deal with it. It might snow in February. But the tension or the drama, and really Christmas, if you don't have little kids around, especially grandkids or little nieces or nephews or something running around going yeah like little kids do. Christmas spent by myself, it's just a whole different thing. To me, it's basically a religious holiday, a religious festival, if you will, celebrating the birth of the Messiah. Now, I know it's an arbitrary day. It's an arbitrary day, but it's good enough for me. I know he was born on one of them. And so we got to choose one, right? So the thing is that I'll go, there's an evening service, usually with candlelight and silent night and all that stuff. And it breaks up pretty early, like 7:30 or 8. And then, the next day, maybe someone might invite me over for a meal, or maybe not. For years, what I used to do is I'd go down to the Village Inn on Christmas morning, eat a big old breakfast, and, I'd be one of the few customers in there, and I'd always leave the girl a real nice tip, Way back then, it was like a $9, $10 breakfast. Heck, I'd leave her $8 tip. It's Christmas, And that's about as far as I get with it. I don't do cards. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't put up a tree. And I'm not against trees. I don't care about them. But all that stuff, unless you got little kids around, or let's say there's older people who, for them, Christmas is an important thing because if they've had so many that were, say, episodic. Well, we had our children with us for 20 years, and then their children for another 20 years, and then their children and it's like, boy, you got a track record going. Keep going. But I don't have any of that stuff. And to me, Christmas is just a great time to kind of look around, look at the sights, and be thankful that really and so Thanksgiving is a thankful time too, and people try to think of things to thank God for occasionally. At Thanksgiving, you might hear a little prayer or two at a dinner table, and it always sounds kind of similar to me, like, yeah, so God, we thank you for the food. That was good. And we thank you for the hands that prepared it, and other stuff. In other words, when we sit down and try to think about things to thank the living God for, suddenly we're stumped. We know what we want. We know our demands. We know our hectic schedule. We know this. We know that. We know this. We know that. But think about the health you have in your body. Think about the fact that your mind works. Huh? Have you ever met some folks that it doesn't work? Not so good. I saw a lady today in a wheelchair going down. She's in the road. Well, maybe that's the best place for her. But I mean, you got healthy legs, right? I hope you have a job. I hope you have a place to live. But the thing is, there's in every circumstance, there's always something, if you sit down and think about it, that you could be thankful for. Because, I mean, let's face it, things could always be worse. They could always be worse. And it's the good Lord who grants gifts. It's the one at the head of the table. If you think about it, you know, the idea of, in the Bible, that we're all being invited to a huge dinner, a banquet, a marriage feast. That's the way it looks in the Bible. And I don't know how many seats are in here, but talk about a big crowd. Wow. And it's part of a new reunion between mankind and God. And it's just going to be super wonderful. And in a way, we can already kind of sample a little bit of it here and there. And in other words, yeah, you know, I really do like it when, you know, we have the turkey with the gravy and the potatoes or whatever. It tastes really good. It's something you can be thankful for as you're eating it, because it's just like, boy, I know I'm going to love this. Well, the dinner that's coming up ahead of us, the marriage feast of the Lamb, ooh, that was going to be a rock and roll episode. I mean, I have no idea what they'll be on the dinner plates, but it's going to be Thankful City. I mean, just the rejoicing that has to do with, look, I know what I deserved. And I already told you 3 times to, you know, get rid of me because I'm a bad bet. And he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't take me up on it. And he won't take you up on it either. I'm willing to bet. Try him out. He's the real thing in terms of when you're trying to understand thankfulness. Thank God for air. Have you ever thought about that? Thank God for hot and cold running water. You know, I can go take a shower in 20 minutes and clean this crap off my face. I mean, that's my grandparents didn't have that. Their grandparents didn't have that. There's so many things that we have that are just modern American conveniences that we just take for granted. It's like, well, everybody's always had that. Toilet paper wasn't invented until the end of the 19th century, I don't think. Think about that. Where'd all those catalogs go? Oh, I know. You sell a lot of stuff by catalogs by mail. Where'd they go up? I think I know. But the things that you can be thankful for, you know, when you're taking a hot shower and you got that beating on your neck and you're just relaxing and kind of going, feels good. Thank God for relaxation, thank Him for rest, and thank Him for jobs that give you a challenge. Something that expands you, something that stretches you a little bit. I was not real eager about going into this job because I thought, how am I going to do this? Well, finally I got down there and look, get all the dirt out of the way. It's not going to be that bad. I can make it fly. And it's going to be slow, but so what? That's how I work. So go find something to be thankful for in advance so that if anybody happens to ask you, say come Thursday, hey, it's Thanksgiving. Can you think of anything at all? Just one thing that you're thankful for. Ask yourself that question today. What am I thankful for? What am I thankful for? Let's build a list. And I'll bet you as soon as you ask yourself and just let it kind of, just like throwing a rock into a pond there, bloop, it just disappears. Give it about 20 minutes. And suddenly something will probably come back to you. You'll think, oh yeah, I remember that shoulder of mine. I thought I was going to have to go get surgery on it. Oh yeah, I remember. I thought I had a big old cavity back here the other day. Can't tell now. And so the way that things work out, the way that your body works, the way that everything works, all that is contingent upon His plan. But the real plan, the actual plan behind all this is a huge rescue operation. If you think of Dunkirk in World War II, this huge rescue where they basically brought all kinds of fishing vessels, every kind of boat they could out of London area, out of the the east side of England, and they landed and they carried off quite a few soldiers who had been driven back toward the sea by the Germans, because at Dunkirk, these, I think it was French troops mainly, I don't know, but there might have been British involved. I should know my history better. But anyway, Dunkirk was a huge rescue, and it was a success. It was carried out overnight. But be thankful that the great rescue operation, the one where the great king touched down and turned the tide by himself, and he made all the difference, and he brought with him a host of captives. That's you and me. And when we say host, we want to just say, that's a number too big. I ain't counting it. I think God's that way. David got in trouble one time trying to do a census. Maybe we should keep that in mind. I'm not going to count heads. I'm just going to say I'm glad everybody's here. And I'm glad you're here too. So take a shower. Get a beer down your neck. Who knows? Might even get something to eat. Have a good day.